the face, the only face, the real face of women's basketball, period. She did it again, Caitlin Clark, shattering records, creating new viewership records for USA Sports. She did it again. Y'all keep running around trying to pretend like this person's the face of the league, that person's the face of the league, because they've been.
Something extraordinary has just shaken the world of women's basketball, and it's something league executives never saw coming. Behind closed doors, panic is beginning to spread because the balance of power has shifted in a way that can no longer be ignored. One player has challenged the entire system without raising her voice, and now the people who believed they controlled the future of the league are being forced to react. What started as another basketball story has transformed into something much bigger, a battle over influence, leadership, and the future of the WNBA. If you've been following the league recently, you probably already know who holds the strongest position today.
For more than 50 years of sports business, Darren Rovell is telling the truth. Leagues and unions have been long forbidden using derogatory NIL. The most popular NBA student example of this is the Reggie Miller choke and crotch grab. There she is, Helen of Troy. Sophie Cunningham herself. They generally do not know how to run a marketing campaign. Folks, when I first saw this, I was like, dude, who is this troll? Who is this troll? But then I looked at the source and I was like, oh, this is a real source. This isn't some Joe Schmo. This is
Caitlin Clark didn't wait for approval. She didn't rely on a carefully crafted PR statement, and she certainly didn't choose the safest moment to make her position clear. Instead, she reportedly sent a powerful message to league officials that left everyone paying attention. Now the basketball world is watching closely to see whether those in charge will respond, or continue ignoring the concerns that have been building for months. Before we reveal how this entire situation escalated, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We bring you the biggest WNBA stories, behind-the-scenes developments, and in-depth analysis, so you never miss the latest updates. You'll understand why Caitlin Clark carries so much influence. You only need to look at the numbers. Statistics don't play favorites, and they don't care about opinions. Every time Clark steps onto the court, television ratings surge. Game after game, broadcasts featuring her continue attracting well over 1.4 million viewers. These aren't casual fans flipping through channels. They're dedicated basketball fans tuning in specifically to watch Caitlin Clark compete. That kind of attention isn't created by marketing alone. It's the result of genuine star power, something very few athletes ever achieve during their careers.
every time she sets foot on the court whilst shattering viewership records. That's Caitlin Clark for you, the face of the league. Yeah, look, Ace's, oh man, maybe it was Ace's son. I thought it was Ace's Sparks. Ace's son USA 343,000. Wow, I thought it was Ace's Sparks. Maybe they just don't have the Ace's Sparks on this list, but damn, that's bad news bears. That's bad. The three highest rated games on USA: Fever Sparks, Fever Tempo, Fever Sparks. Oh, one common denominator to certain somebody's team. Is it not? Is it not Jamel Hill? Let's get into the player of the week, shall we? Your AP player of the week, Caitlin Clark. Many people reported on this yesterday. Many people talked about this yesterday. Congratulations to Caitlin Clark, player of the week, well deserved. Getting player of the week while on.
The evidence becomes even stronger when you examine the season's biggest television audiences. The highest rated broadcasts all have one thing in common: the Indiana Fever. And whenever the Fever are drawing record-breaking audiences, there's one obvious reason: Caitlin Clark. Adding to that momentum, Clark earned another Player of the Week honor, reinforcing what fans have been seeing all season. While analysts continue debating her impact, the numbers keep delivering the same answer. The league's biggest television successes consistently feature Clark leading the Indiana Fever. On the other hand, several highly promoted marquee matchups that league officials expected to become major attractions failed to generate similar interest. Some broadcasts attracted far fewer viewers than expected, creating challenges for television partners and advertisers who had anticipated much stronger ratings. This isn't a minor difference, it's a massive gap. And inside league offices, everyone understands exactly what those numbers mean, whether they publicly acknowledge it or not.
Minutes restriction is wild work. It's crazy. Absolutely insanity. Caitlin Clark by herself is must-see TV. She is amazing and the only person I have to drop everything I'm doing to watch her play. WNBA candidate and all.
What makes Caitlin Clark's success even more remarkable is the fact that much of it has come while she has reportedly been playing under limited minutes. Think about that for a moment. Even without playing full games, she continues collecting awards, breaking records, and delivering television audiences that the league hasn't experienced in years. That combination of on-court production and off-court influence makes her impact almost impossible to ignore. Every statistic supports the same conclusion. Clark has become one of the biggest driving forces behind the WNBA's growing popularity. And that's exactly why everything that happened next became so controversial. Because the situation involving Sophie Cunningham didn't suddenly appear out of nowhere. It had been building beneath the surface for quite some time, and when it finally erupted, it triggered one of the most talked about controversies of the season.
Right here, Sophie Cunningham. So that takes us back to Darren Rovell. The WNBA Players Association is currently prohibiting licensees from using the Sophie Cunningham point, saying that it is, quote, derogatory. What? What? That is absurd. And if I was Sophie Cunningham, I would be kicking and screaming. What? I saw this and was like, oh, this league is ate up with the perpetually offended. The most viral moment of the year can't get licenses because you got players that were offended by it. Remember all the people.
There's something even more incredible about Caitlin Clark's season that many people aren't talking about enough. It isn't just the records she's breaking or the awards she keeps collecting. It's the fact that much of her success has come while she hasn't always been playing full minutes. Think about that for a second. Most athletes need every possible opportunity on the court to build numbers that impress fans and analysts. Clark has been creating headlines even with limited playing time. Every appearance seems to generate another unforgettable moment, another highlight, another television ratings boost, and another reminder of why she has become one of the biggest names in basketball. She plays with intensity, never backs down from physical basketball, and has never been afraid to express her personality. Whether fans love her or criticize her, almost everyone agrees on one thing. She brings emotion and entertainment every time she steps on the floor. In today's sports world, authenticity is incredibly valuable because audiences connect with players who feel genuine rather than carefully scripted. That's why many fans were caught off guard when one of Cunningham's most talked about moments reportedly became the subject of a licensing controversy. The clip had already spread across social media, generating huge engagement and introducing countless new viewers to women's basketball. Instead of fading away after a day or two, people kept sharing it, discussing it, and debating it. It became one of those rare viral moments that every sports league hopes will happen naturally. Then everything changed. Instead of celebrating the attention the moment was receiving, controversy surrounded how it would be handled. Almost overnight, discussions shifted from basketball highlights to questions about league decisions. Fans who had been excited about the growing popularity of the WNBA suddenly found themselves asking why one of the season's biggest viral moments had become such a complicated issue. That reaction spread fast. Basketball communities across social media filled with thousands of opinions. Some defended the decision. Others argued that removing attention from one of the league's most recognizable personalities made little business sense. Marketing experts, sports commentators, and longtime fans all began offering their own perspectives. Regardless of where people stood, almost everyone agreed that the situation had become much bigger than a single video. And then Caitlin Clark entered the conversation. This wasn't simply another athlete making a casual comment after practice. It wasn't a carefully planned public relations appearance designed to avoid controversy. Instead, Clark's reported support for Cunningham immediately changed the tone of the discussion. Suddenly, the focus was no longer just on one controversial decision. It became about player unity and whether the league was listening to the people who were helping drive its incredible growth. That's what made the moment feel so significant. Clark didn't need to involve herself. She was already enjoying one of the most successful stretches of her career. Television audiences continued climbing whenever she played. Individual awards kept arriving. Headlines were focused on her performances almost every week. From a personal standpoint, remaining silent would have been the easiest option. Instead, many fans viewed her willingness to stand beside another player as a powerful statement about loyalty. Whether you agreed with every opinion surrounding the controversy or not, it became clear that supporters respected athletes who stood up for teammates when the pressure was highest. In professional sports, those moments often matter just as much as championships because they reveal the character behind the competition. As Clark's influence continued growing, another reality became impossible to ignore. Modern sports are no longer driven only by league offices or television contracts. They're driven by fan engagement. Millions of people now follow every interview, every social media post, every highlight, and every controversy in real time. Public opinion forms within minutes instead of weeks. One major story can dominate headlines across the entire sports world before the next game even begins. That creates enormous pressure for everyone involved. League executives must protect the reputation of the organization. Television partners depend on strong ratings. Sponsors want positive publicity. Players want fairness and respect. Fans simply want authenticity. When all of those interests collide at once, even a single controversy can become much larger than anyone expected. That's exactly what seemed to happen here. Every day the discussion continued, more people began asking difficult questions. Had the situation been handled correctly? Could it have been managed differently? Was the league missing an opportunity to embrace the personalities that were attracting so many new viewers? Those questions became impossible to ignore because the numbers surrounding Clark's impact kept telling the same story. Whenever she played, audiences increased. Whenever she appeared in nationally televised games, conversations exploded across social media. Whenever highlights featuring Clark circulated online, millions of basketball fans engaged almost immediately. That kind of influence cannot simply be manufactured through advertising campaigns. It develops over time through unforgettable performances, consistency, and genuine connections with fans. And that's why many observers believed Clark's voice carried unusual weight. Not because of titles, not because of awards, but because millions of people were already paying attention every time she spoke. Behind closed doors, executives undoubtedly understood that reality. Every successful sports league depends on maintaining positive relationships with its biggest stars while also protecting the league's long-term image. Finding that balance is never easy, especially when emotions begin running high. Meanwhile, fans continued watching every development closely. Some believed the controversy would disappear within days. Others argued it represented something much larger, a changing relationship between athletes, fans, and league leadership. Regardless of which perspective proved correct, one thing had already become obvious: women's basketball had entered a completely different era. The conversation was no longer limited to final scores or championship predictions. Fans were now discussing leadership, influence, transparency, and the growing power of players whose popularity stretched far beyond the basketball court. And with every passing day, the spotlight only became brighter. The biggest question now wasn't whether Caitlin Clark had become one of the faces of the WNBA. That answer had already been given by television audiences, sold-out arenas, and millions of basketball fans around the world. The real question was far more important. How would the league respond when one of its most influential stars found herself at the center of one of the biggest debates of the season? Because whatever happened next had the potential to shape not only the remainder of the year, but also the future direction of women's professional basketball itself.